What's up, Dog Pound? How's everything going with the Orange and Brown Nation? Straight out of Cleveland, bringing you that hot, passionate, high-energy talk that only Browns fans deserve. Today's topic is heavy, the news shaking up First Energy Stadium about how our rookie Shedeur Sanders might just be the missing piece to bring the Cleveland Browns back to the top of the AFC. It's time to break it all down, what this means for the team, the season expectations, front office moves, fan reactions, and much more. So grab your beer, adjust your Browns cap, and let's dive into this with that dog pound energy. If you've been keeping up with the offseason, you know the Browns are playing chess while other teams are playing checkers. Andrew Berry, our GM, is working magic, and the mandatory minicamp running Tuesday through Thursday is the perfect stage to see who's gonna shine. The big star right now? Shedeur Sanders, our fifth-round pick in the 2025 draft, coming in hungry and ready to prove. He didn't fall all the way to pick 144 by accident. And let me tell you, dog pound, this kid is making a serious impression. So let's break down this news, see how it shakes up the team, and what we can expect for the 2025 season. Let's lay the cards on the table. Shedeur Sanders, drafted 144th overall, is at mandatory minicamp with a clear mission: climb the depth chart and prove he can be more than just a backup. He wasn't the Browns' original plan. They had already locked in Dillon Gabriel in the third round, but when Sanders dropped to the fifth round, Andrew Berry didn't let him slip away. He made a savvy trade with the Seattle Seahawks, sending picks 166 and 192 to bring in a QB who was once projected as a top 10 pick. Now that's what I call a power move. It's like scoring front-row Browns game tickets for the price of nosebleeds. Why is this so important? Because our QB spot is hotter than a hot dog line on game day, with Deshaun Watson out for the 2025 season due to an Achilles tendon injury. The QB1 battle is on fire. We've got Joe Flacco, the veteran clutch guy who took us to the playoffs in 2023, Kenny Pickett, who came in via trade with the Eagles and is hungry to prove himself, Dillon Gabriel, the other rookie making waves, and now Sanders jumping into the fight full force. It's a true battle royale, dog pound, and this week's minicamp will be critical to see who comes out on top. Sanders is at minicamp with a golden chance to impress head coach Kevin Stefanski and offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. He's not just trying to show he can play, he's fighting for snaps with the first team and maybe even to steal the starting job, but it won't be easy. Flacco, at 40 years old with a Super Bowl ring, is the favorite to start the season as QB1. Pickett, who has starting experience in the NFL, is right on his heels. Gabriel, drafted earlier, is also showing promise, so Sanders is up against a wall, but this kid has pedigree. Last season at Colorado, Sanders posted numbers any Browns fan would dream of: 74% completion rate, 4,134 passing yards, and 37 touchdowns against only 9 interceptions. He turned the Buffaloes from a 1-win team in 2022 into a competitive 9-win squad in 2024. That's QB leadership right there, and in OTAs he's already flashed what he can do, including a 40-yard TD pass that left the coaches in Berea speechless. But he's still listed as QB4 behind Flacco, Pickett, and Gabriel. Can he make that leap? If Sanders can show that potential at minicamp, he could change the entire look of our offense. Let's be real, Flacco's a legend, but at 40 he's not the future. Pickett has experience but hasn't yet shown that franchise QB spark. Gabriel is promising, but Sanders has something that's got the fans buzzing: charisma, confidence, and an arm that looks like a cannon. Sanders is launching missiles at practice, and the social media crowd is going wild with comments like, "This is the guy. The Browns offense already has pieces to make noise." David Njoku is flying at tight end with 81 catches and 6 TDs last season. Jerry Jeudy, finally clicking with the team, is a lethal weapon in the passing game, and the offensive line featuring Dawan Jones and Wyatt Teller is giving any QB the kind of protection they dream about. If Sanders can master Tommy Rees's playbook and show consistency, this offense could really click. Imagine precise throws to Jeudy, checkdowns to Njoku, and play actions that leave defenses dizzy. So, dog pound, you ready to see this offense take off? But there's a catch. Sanders is under intense pressure, more watched than a reality show contestant. Every pass, every rep is being filmed and dissected by coaches, analysts, and fans on X, Twitter. Marshawn Lynch, on his Beast Mode podcast, called it straight. This kind of pressure can weigh heavy on a rookie, especially one carrying a giant spotlight just by who he is. Analysts like Jason McIntyre from Fox Sports have been tough on Sanders, saying he's more focused on draft events than the field. That's a cold splash of water, but it might be exactly the fuel Sanders needs to shut the haters up. What do you think, Dog Pound? Think he's got what it takes to handle the heat? To understand what Sanders can bring, let's look back at 2023. Remember when Joe Flacco came off the bench, took a 7-5 team, and led us to the playoffs with 5 wins in 6 games? He finished the season with 1,616 yards and 13 TDs in just 5 starts. That showed us that with a solid QB, our offense becomes a machine. The difference now is Flacco was a seasoned vet, while Sanders is a rookie who still has to adjust to the NFL grind. But if he shows even half of Flacco's leadership, he's gonna be a huge boost. Another interesting comparison is with 2020, when the Browns made the playoffs for the first time since 2002. That team had a solid defense, led by a peak Myles Garrett, and an offense that could run the ball and hit you with play action. Today, we've got an even stronger defense, especially after drafting Mason Graham, and an offense that has the potential to be just as dynamic. If Sanders can be the leader we need, 2025 could be just as special as 2020, but the key is consistency, and minicamp is going to be the ultimate test. Andrew Berry is playing high-level chess. Drafting 2 QBs, Gabriel and Sanders, shows he's not putting all his chips on one guy. He wants competition. He wants to see who steps up. And Tommy Rees, our OC, already made it clear. The best man is going to play, whether it's a veteran or a rookie. That's music to the ears of the Dog Pound because we just want to see this team flying, no matter who's throwing the ball. The trade with the Seahawks to land Sanders was a bold move, but if the kid delivers, it could pay off in a huge way. On top of that, the front office reinforced other parts of the team. The defense, which was already top 5 in yards allowed in 2024, 298.7 per game, now has Mason Graham to bolster that D-line alongside Myles Garrett, who had 14 sacks last season. On offense, keeping Nick Chubb, even after his injury, brings that ground game security with 1,147 rushing yards in 2024. If Sanders or any of the other QBs can get the passing game rolling, we've got everything we need to push for a playoff spot. Looking at the big picture, the Browns have a roster built to compete. The defense with Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Graham is ready to eat opposing QBs alive. And on offense, we've got weapons like Njoku, Judy, and Chubb. What we need now is a QB who can make it all click. If Sanders shows in minicamp that he can be that guy, we could be looking at a 10 or 11 win season. But if he stumbles, Flacco and Pickett are there to hold it down. The good news? The competition is wide open, and that's good for the team. The 2025 schedule won't be easy. The AFC North is a war zone with Joe Burrow's Bengals, Lamar Jackson's Ravens, and the Steelers with Russell Wilson. But if we look back to 2023, when we won 11 games with 5 different QBs, there's plenty of reason to believe 2025 can be our year. This week's minicamp will set the tone, and Sanders has the ball in his court to prove he deserves the Dog Pound's trust. So, Dog Pound, what do y'all think? Is Shedeur Sanders the guy to take the Browns to the next level, or are you feeling more confident in Flacco, Pickett, or Gabriel? Did Andrew Berry nail it again with this draft pick? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what's going through the mind of the Orange and Brown Nation. And don't forget, the Dog Pound is the heartbeat of this team. Your energy at First Energy Stadium shakes the ground, and if Sanders brings the fire, we know y'all are going to bring the heat. To wrap it all up, let's grow this channel together. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. Share this with your fellow Dog Pound members because together we can make the Browns soar, and drop a comment. What are your expectations for Sanders, and how do you see the 2025 season playing out? Let's make some noise, Cleveland! Browns, Browns, Browns! Catch you next time, Dog Pound.